you.
How?
In every way.
In what ways you mean?
In tons of ways, except that he tends to accept what she says without question.
Shit, let me see.
You ever watch a show that used to be amazing, but somewhere along the way it just lost it? The jokes stopped landing, the characters start acting weird, and you find yourself asking, why is this still on TV? Today we are counting down 10 iconic 90s sitcoms that went on way too long. From nerdy neighbors who took over entire shows, to finales that completely broke fans' hearts, these series all forgot one thing: quit while you're ahead.
I want you to kiss me, but it has to be voluntary. I'll just wait for that wonderful moment when you want to kiss me. Good night, Laura.
It started as a sweet, down-to-earth comedy about the Winslow family in Chicago. Carl was a cop, Harriet worked hard to keep the family together, and life was simple. Until one character showed up and changed everything. Steve Urkel, the nerdy neighbor with suspenders, big glasses, and that unforgettable voice. Audiences loved him, so the writers gave us more and more Urkel, until it wasn't Family Matters anymore. It was the Steve Urkel Show. The storylines went off the rails. He built a robot version of himself, turned into a suave alter ego named Stefan Urkel, and even went to outer space. Meanwhile, members of the Winslow family quietly disappeared. By the final season, the heartwarming family sitcom had turned into a sci-fi cartoon of itself.
You take these brown paper bags and you find a scooper.
More coffee, officer?
For years, Roseanne was one of the most authentic and honest sitcoms on TV. It showed a working-class family struggling to make ends meet. Flawed but lovable. Real but funny. Real but funny. Then came season 9, when the Connors won the lottery. Overnight, the show that had represented everyday people became a surreal fantasy. Suddenly, they were rich, flying on private jets and hanging out with celebrities. The entire premise that made the show special was gone. And in the final episode, Roseanne revealed that the whole season had been a story she made up. Oh, and her husband, Dan, had actually died of a heart attack. It was a shocking twist, but it couldn't undo the damage. The grounded, relatable magic of Roseanne was gone for good.
All right, she's offered a reward to whoever turns me in.
How much is she offering?
20,000.
Fran Fine, the loud, hilarious girl from Queens with the wild outfits and the big heart, stole audiences' hearts the moment she met her boss, Maxwell Sheffield. The entire show thrived on that romantic tension. Would they? Wouldn't they? It was the perfect formula, until they finally got married. Once Fran and Maxwell said "I do," the show lost its spark. The playful chemistry was gone, replaced with dull married life storylines. Even having twins couldn't save it. When the tension vanished, so did the magic.
Oh, look, Hilda. She's levitating. Right on schedule.
Every Friday night, millions tuned in to watch Sabrina Spellman, a high school girl who discovered she's a witch. With her 2 quirky aunts and her sarcastic talking cat Salem, the show was a perfect mix of teen drama and magical fun. But when Sabrina graduated high school, the magic disappeared. Literally. The show moved from ABC to the WB, switched settings to college, and most of the original cast faded away. The new characters didn't connect, the stories felt forced, and even the spells weren't as clever. It limped on for 3 more seasons, but it never recaptured that early charm.
Frank Lambert, long time no see.
A modern-day Brady Bunch, 2 single parents with 3 kids each trying to blend their families together. The early seasons were lighthearted and funny, full of clashing personalities and relatable chaos. But as the show dragged on, the writers ran out of ideas. They added random new characters, then dropped them without explanation, and when all else failed, they pulled the ultimate sitcom cliché, a new baby. The once fresh premise turned into a tired mess, and after 7 seasons, Step by Step had clearly overstayed its welcome.
And what I pray I will come home to someday.
It's just like what you said to me when you went to Jersey for the weekend.
Paul and Jamie Buckman were one of the most realistic TV couples ever. Their small arguments, sweet moments, and witty banter made Mad About You one of the NBC's smartest sitcoms. But when the couple had a baby, everything changed. The focus shifted from their relationship to parenting, and the show lost its spark. Then came the bizarre final season, a 22-year time jump where we learned Paul and Jamie had separated. Fans were furious. Even the show's revival in 2019 ignored that finale completely, proving the writers had gone way too far.
What was that sauce that special sauce they had in it? That's
Gravy.
Gravy.
In the 90s, Tim the Toolman Taylor was the king of TV dads. With his show Tool Time, his patient wife Jill, and their 3 sons, Home Improvement was a massive hit. But after more than 200 episodes, the formula had worn thin. Tim would mess something up, get advice from Wilson, grunt a few times, and then learn nothing. Over and over. When Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the middle son and fan favorite, left the show, it lost a major piece of its charm. By the end, Home Improvement had turned into a parody of itself.
Good morning.
It doesn't get more 90s than Full House. A single dad raising 3 daughters with help from his best friend and brother-in-law. It was pure family-friendly gold. In its early years, it was genuinely sweet and funny, but as the show went on, it refused to grow with its audience. Every episode followed the same formula. A small problem, some emotional music, a heart-to-heart talk, and a big group hug. It was cute, at first, until it became painfully predictable. By the end, Full House was less heartwarming and more sugary sweet déjà vu.
Don't put it anywhere near a clock.
When most sitcoms were showing perfect families with perfect lives, Married with Children flipped the script. The Bundys were rude, lazy, and completely dysfunctional, and people loved it. Al Bundy's misery and Peg's laziness were comedy gold. For a while. But 11 seasons is a long time for any joke to stay funny. Eventually it felt like the same episode on repeat. Al complaining about his job, Peg spending his money, and the kids being idiots. New characters came and went, even a random kid named Steven who just disappeared, and by the end, the once edgy show had become tired and mean-spirited.
I have a hard enough time keeping track of myself. You? I'm not a pet guy.
For a whole generation, Boy Meets World was more than a show. It was a childhood. We grew up with Corey Matthews, his best friend Sean, and his soulmate Topanga. The early seasons captured the struggles of growing up perfectly. Funny, awkward, and heartfelt. But when the gang went to college, something changed. The tone got weirder, the humor got broader, and characters like Eric turned into cartoon versions of themselves. Corey and Topanga even got married in college, and the show lost the innocence that made it special. The last few seasons weren't terrible, but they definitely didn't live up to what came before. So, what can we learn from all this? Even the best shows have an expiration date. When they ignore it, they risk turning great memories into guilty pleasures. If you grew up watching these shows and cringed when they started falling apart, you're definitely not alone. Like this trip down TV memory lane? Then don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the best and worst shows from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Because sometimes remembering how our favorite sitcoms fell apart is almost as fun as remembering why we loved them in the first place.